Hey everyone, and welcome to a wrap-up for the Magical Orilium Readathon for the fall semester. So the career that I selected was to go into become a Master of Elements. That has always been a power I've been interested in. I always have liked the idea of being able to control the elements around me. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I will say I did complete my chosen career path, so let's kind of go into what I did, and then we'll go into any side quests that I was able to complete. Okay, so I've got a huge stack of books. My bed is not made, so please excuse that. So there's my stack of books. That's, whoop, sorry about that. That's actually for a couple of different readathons as well as the one we're talking about. So let me grab the first, or dig the first book out of this stack. Okay, so for Master of Elements, I needed to get a D, like David, in Elemental Studies. So to do that, you also had to complete the O and the Q and then the D. So for the O, which is Element of Water, it says start a book with a drink. I just started a book with a glass, I don't even remember if it was a glass of water or if it was a Diet Coke. I read Diagon Alley. This is by, I think, Warner Brothers. Yes, Warner Brothers, published by Bloomsbury. And this is a movie scrapbook. This is all about, in particular, just Diagon Alley within the Harry Potter world. So you have stuff about the different shops, the different elements. You have little inserts like this letter to go to Hogwarts. There's a little bookmark for Floris and Bots, which I haven't taken out because it's going to rip the page. And then you have little, so it's interactive, little things that you can lift up. It also came with a sheet of stickers in the back. As you can see, I've taken it out and it ripped the page. So yeah, I gave it, it's just highly entertaining. It's a movie scrapbook. I would like to get more movie scrapbooks from different movies. Like I wish I have searched and I have not found it. I wish the Jurassic Park franchise would do movie scrapbooks. I would want to buy every single one of them that they did. So these are just really fun to look at. So movie scrapbooks, 5 stars to me. I thoroughly enjoy movie scrapbooks because they give you, you know, kind of like refreshers on what's in the movie, but they also give you talk about kind of some little tricks that they did in the movie, so more behind the scenes stuff as well, which is really cool. Okay, so got that one done, 5 stars. So the Q in Elemental Studies I had was wind direction, point at around a book and pick an adjacent book. I have a stack of these movie scrapbooks, so I just pointed and then picked an adjacent one. So the one that I did for this one is, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Another movie scrapbook, and this one's Hogwarts. So it's just all about Hogwarts, again by Warner Brothers. And again, same thing as the first one, movie scrapbook, just you have behind the scenes, you have little inserts, like there's this one pocket here that has cards in it, and when you pull it out, it's different members of Dumbledore's army. So again, it came with stickers that I did remove, tore the back end page, but you know, just picture the castle. I'm trying to see, it does give you a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Like for this one, it talks about how many different owls that they had to use to play Hedwig, how many rats they used to play Scabbers, and cats for Hermione's cat. And it turns out one thing that was really funny, one of these scrapbooks talks about it, the cat that they used, one of the cats that they used to play Hermione's cat, and then the one of them for Scabbers, one of those rats, became like best buds. And so they had to, like, to do the racing scene down that hotel that Harry stays at, they had to let the rat get a head start, otherwise they would just run side by side. So that was fun, that was interesting. So you do learn some fun things about that, and all the different animal names, what animals were more conducive to what roles and stuff like that. So that was really cool. Okay, moving on. Every movie scrapbook got 5 stars. Okay, so this next one, so for the D in Elemental Studies, it says wave manipulation. So read a book with a C setting. For this one, I no longer have this because I'm not going to reread it, so I've already unhauled it. And that is Moti on the Water. This was written by Leylah Attar. I did not rate it. I think if the sex was not in it, it would have gotten like a 4, if not a 4.5 or a 5 star. Definitely a 4.5 or a 4 if the sex was not in it. But it did have some explicit sex in it. And this one you're following Moti as her cousin gets married, and Moti is the maid of honor, and they go on a cruise before the wedding. And they're from India. The family is from India, and they live in America, so they're Indian American. And then you do have some characters who are from Greece. And I don't think they ever lived in America, so they're just straight up Greek. And you might have some Greek Americans. But I don't know, Moti was hilarious. She's clumsy. You do have warnings for her talking about like either bullying or emotional abuse, like she's too fat and things like that. So you do have some fat phobia in there. Just definitely be aware if you don't want to read any of that. You might want to skip it. So I did enjoy it except for the sex. So I did give it 0 stars because I don't think I could rate it fairly. So I did not rate it. So just be aware that if the sex was not in it, it would have been a high 4 star or even a 5 star. But with it being in there and not liking those scenes, I didn't know how to rate it fairly. So I just gave it a 0 star. And I did explain that. I think I did a review for that, and I did explain why I did not rate it in there. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on. So the next one, I had to get an O in shape shifting. So for O, the prompt was formation, wings. Read a book with wings on the cover. So this one, and this is, I've read all of the movie scrapbooks that I have so far. And so I do have a few more. This one I read Magical Creatures from the Harry Potter world. As you can see, you have the Thestrals who have wings on the covers. So it just kind of, it just talks more about that. You have them talking about the spiders from Aragog. And I think in real life, Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley, does not like spiders. So those were genuine fear reactions that we were seeing on the screen. He does not like those. They talk about how they did Fox, how they did the Cornish pixies. You know, it's very interesting. Centaurs, Thestrals. So all about the magical creatures. And you even have some creatures that have shown up in here who were from, like the Bowtruckle, who we see in Magical Beasts and the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. There's a whole page dedicated to Nifflers. You know, so it's just fun. Movie scrapbook, 5 stars. Loved it. Okay. Class number 3 is an O in Animal Studies, and it says Study of Familiars, a book with a familiar or animal companion. So this one I read, ooh, I have it. Adulthood is a Myth. This is a collection of comics. This was written by Sarah Anderson. I gave this one 4 stars. Very enjoyable. As you can see, there is a little rabbit on the cover. So she's got, and I would say the rabbit is more of a familiar to Sarah, even though it's not a fantastical book. This is very much a contemporary, so it's more animal companion. There's also a black cat that shows up in this. But in this world, it does have fantastical elements because these animals can talk in this. And the rabbit can definitely talk. So I would say the rabbit is more of like a familiar, if you want to get technical, and the cat is more companion. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Do recommend this book. So that definitely covered that. Okay. And the last class I had was an O in Astronomy. And that was, I'm going to say it wrong, Livier. I don't know. So this is to read a book that has the letter L in the title. This one has 2 L's. Another movie scrapbook. Harry Potter, and this one's all about the spells and the charms that they did. I think in this one we do find out that like the character or the actor that plays Professor Flitwick in the first one, where he is the old man who's also on the cover, is the same actor that plays Griphook and is the same actor that plays the younger version of Professor Flitwick. They just liked the younger version of Professor Flitwick just showed up better on camera and stuff like that, I guess. Anyway, but this is just all about some of the spells that they cast, what they're used for, in certain situations where the characters get in, what spells they used. There's They talk about the Avada Kedavra. They talk about the essentials, like if you're going to use the killing spell, what actually needs to happen to make it effective. They talk about the priori incantatum, or incantata, whatever. And then they also talk about magical objects, like the Marauders map. So, fun, 5 stars. Okay, so that's all the classes I had to do to achieve my Master of Elements. Now, there were side quests. Each side quest was 5 points. I did complete some of these. So, the first one I did is for the quest of Amphibian Wranglers. An author name starts with B or F. I just went by the last name on this one, or I think in like England it's like the surname. Could be wrong on that. Definitely let me know if you're in a country outside of the US and you go by surname. Instead of saying last name, you say surname. Let me know. I think it's the same. Could be wrong. So, for example, this author was Tracy Brogan. So I think Brogan, if I were in outside of the US, would be called the surname. Here it's the last name. Again, I could be wrong. Definitely let me know. So this one I read My Kind of Forever. This one was I think it's the 3rd book in the, no. I think the 3rd one's My Kind of Perfect. And My Kind of Forever is the 2nd book. I could be wrong, but it's one of the books, it's the 2nd or the 3rd book in the Trillin Bay trilogy, which is a romance that takes place on a little island where there's a lot of Irish ancestry, and there's no automobiles allowed. So you're walking, you're biking, you're going by horse or horse-drawn carriage. So I gave that one 4 stars, thoroughly loved it. So again, by the last name, I think surname, Brogan, so that fits. Okay, gave that one 4 stars. Now, the next, so that's 10 points. Let me get my pen, because I didn't add up how many, I don't know where my pen went. That is 10 points. Okay. The next quest that I completed, or actually another quest was Courier Needed. It says read a book, basically you read a book with a moody adaptation. I did not do that one. Did not get that done. Let's see. I'm going to do these in orders that the quests came out. So that was the second one that I saw. The third one was Discreet Help Needed for 10 points. Read a book with shrubbery on the cover. For this one, I read a library book called The Unkindness of Ravens, and this is by M.E. Hillard. This is a cozy mystery. This one takes place in kind of like a gothic, huge gothic setting that is a library. The death occurs in the library. The main character works in the library, and so there's a lot of investigation in the library. Thoroughly loved that one. Gave it 4 stars. Standy cozy mystery. New person in town. Someone dies. The new person's the one that finds the body. The new person obviously interjects themselves into the investigation for one reason or the other, and then obviously it just resolves. Standard cozy mystery. Gave that one 4 stars. Loved it. Okay, and that one did have shrubbery on the cover. I think it was just a bunch of trees. There might have been some bushes, but it definitely had stuff on there. The fourth one, so that puts me up to 20 points for quests. So let's see, the next one that came up was Guild Events Preparations. Buddy read a book. For this one, I actually got off on my timeline, but I did read the next book because I am co-hosting the Chronicles of Narnia Readathon with Amy from A-Star Reads. I better write that down so that I remember to link that in the description box, because otherwise I'll forget. Definitely check out Amy's channel. I love her channel. So I read The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. Gave this one 4 stars. You just have this boy who, at the beginning of the story, he lives with someone, and then someone comes along and they're basically going to try to buy him. He goes to the horse, finds out this horse can talk, as it's a fantasy world, and then they go and try to save each other's lives. So it was a very cute story. And then I meet another talking horse and a girl. I'm curious. Let me check. I did a review for a book that that one of the tags is magical realism, and I did not like it. I want to check if Chronicles of Narnia has that tag, because I only know of the 2 books and I did not like them that have the magical realism. This one, so the Chronicles of Narnia is labeled as fantasy, classics, children's, young adult. I would say it's more on the children's. It has Christian themes to it. Adventure, middle grade, science fiction, fantasy, Christian fiction. So no magical realism. So no wonder I'm liking the Chronicles of Narnia so much. There's no magical realism. So anyway, I gave The Horse and His Boy 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to getting to the next one in the month of September, which I think is The Magician's Nephew. So, got that one. That brings me up to 30 extra points. Now, I did not submit these because it was just kind of low-key, just doing it on my own time because I didn't know how I was going to feel. So I didn't officially sign up, so I'm not submitting these points. This is just for me to know when I mark it on my sheet how far I got. Let's see. Okay, the next one that came up was paid animal therapy, and it says read a book with more than one animal on the cover or the title. So for this one, I read, oh, I love this one. Now, it's all the same type of animal, but there's more than one, and I read the manga Creepy Cat by Cotton Valent. Gave this one 5 stars, gothic, paranormal, ghost cat type things, as you can see. So you have the girl here, she's holding one cat. You got a cat there, cat there, cat there, cat there. There's a cat hiding under there, so more than one animal on the cover. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Highly recommend. If you're looking to get into manga, this is a good place to start. It's got beautiful art, very simple, very quick read. Highly, highly recommend Creepy Cat. Okay. So that takes me up to 40 points. Alright, so the next quest was potion testing. Read a book with potions or poisons on the cover. And guess what? I did read that one. And we're back to a movie scrapbook. This one we are... it is this one. Dark Arts. There, as you can see, there's a goblet with stuff coming out. There is a little vial of potion there, which we know as liquid luck, basically. And then there is plenty of potions in here. Let's see, read a book. What was it? A book with potions or poison. Well, there are, you can poison people. There's a whole, let me go back to it. I just missed the page. There's a whole book about potions. There's a whole spread about potions, and Severus Snape being the teacher, and then there's the potions and how potions can be for good and they can be for evil. So counted that one. 5 stars. Movie scrapbook. They're just entertaining. So that brings me up to 50. And the good thing with these movie scrapbooks is these particular ones were like 47 pages each, so they're very quick to get through. Because there's also a lot of pictures, so there's not a lot of writing on most of the pages. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. The next quest that came up that I found was Steady Buddy Required. Read a book with morally gray characters. This one I read The Golden Couple by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. I gave this one 4 stars. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's told in third person, mostly in third person. I think, if I remember right, one of them was actually more in first person. Avery. Yeah, because hers is told all in like, I met someone at the gym. I did this. I did that. Marissa's POV was told as like, Marissa did that. Marissa did this. She saw this. She saw that. So it's told partly first person, partly third person, which was actually pretty interesting. But definitely enjoyed this one. You do have morally gray characters, definitely as far as Avery and Melissa are. You do come with a cross character you think it would also be morally gray. Turns out this particular person is more evil. So yeah, I don't know. I thoroughly love this. I'm not going to go into much of a synopsis because otherwise this video would be very long with all of these books. So I'm just trying to give you a very watered down, very brief, evident. So basically Marissa goes to Avery with Marissa's husband because Marissa had an affair, and Marissa is trying to save her marriage. So Avery is a therapist. She has unconventional ways of helping people. She even lost her license. So, but she's caught up in her own stuff as well that she has to deal with. So that gives me, with the completion of The Golden Couple, 60. right? Yeah, 60 extra points. Oh, but there are more quests. So quest number 8 that I found is Taft's Volunteers Read a Historical Fiction. I did do that, but did I use that book for... I used that book. The book I was thinking I used for something different. So, did not submit a book for that one. Okay. Or not counting a book for that one. So, prompt number 9 that I found is the AWW Needs You. Read a book featuring undead characters. I did not do that. Let's see, the 10th quest that I found is Ops, They Did It Again, or Oops. Title has the letters O, P, and S in it. Nope, didn't do that quest. I definitely would have tried to do these quests if I had time and could find books that would fit these. Definitely that I could fit in that were on the shorter end, some more novellas or short stories, just because there's a lot of quests, but did not get to those. The next one... Let's see. I know there's a 14th quest that came out, and I did not write that one down because I didn't have room on this page. I took a screenshot of it, but I didn't get to it, so I'm just not going to worry about that one. Number 11 I found for the quest was book featuring or mentioning a game called Gnomescape. Did not do that one. So let me just kind of scribble that one out. The 12th one, I did this one. It is Artificial Supplies Required. Read a book over 5 days. This is the book that I struggled with. I read this one via ebook. And that's Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is the one that has magical realism, which I don't think I vibe with. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. There were a couple of times while I was reading this I wanted to DNF it because I just was not interested in what was going on. I mean, there were some parts that were interesting, but as a combined whole, it just wasn't holding my interest. It wasn't holding my entertainment. So I kind of wanted to DNF it, but I pushed through hoping it would get better. In my opinion, it didn't. So I gave it 2 stars. So I'm definitely an unpopular opinion about that one, but I did complete it. So that puts me up at 70 quest points. The 13th, again, I said there were 14. The 14th one I didn't even get to, so I didn't write it down because it was like submitted... I think there were like 2 or 3 days left in this readathon. Didn't even bother. So the 13th quest that I found that I did do is Cute Hippogriffs. Cute Hippogriffs Need Helpers. It says read a most recent book that you've gotten or added to your TBR. This is the historical fiction I thought about for the other quest, but this definitely was the most recent acquired book. This one I got in the Once Upon a Book Club, which I did cancel my subscription. I think I'll get one more book, but I need to hurry because my battery is flashing. It's going to die. I got the War Girls historical fiction. Takes place during World War II, told in 4 different POVs, mostly from the perspective of Jews that have to go through the crap that they went through with the Nazis during this war. I gave this book 5 stars. Highly recommend it, but definitely be aware when you're going into historical fiction, because this is World War II and it's told from the Jews' perspective, it can be a very difficult read. So just caution going into that with knowing what we do know that they went through. It does make it a little bit harder to read, but thoroughly love this one. 5 stars. So that is all that I read for the magical readathon. With that quest completed, that gives me 80 quest points that I get to add. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here, because my camera's going to die and I got to charge it. So that's it. Let me know if you've participated. Did you complete your chosen career path? So, and what your favorite book of the month you read was. Just talk to me in the comments section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.